Hello and welcome to the Musty Creative Podcast. I'm your host, Jesús, and I am joined today by my co-host, Carlos. How are you doing, Carlos? Welcome to the show.
I'm great, man. Feeling great. Feeling motivated.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. We are the Musty Collective, creatives on a journey to better storytelling. Thank you for joining us today, even though it's musty in here. Today, we're talking about Lanterns, the new DC show, episodes 1 and 2. And so without further ado, let's start the show. All right, so I have to start the episode with this. In brightest day, in darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power.
Beware my power.
Green Lantern's light.
Heck yeah, man. It's not a cool, nerdy thing with a ring as long as if it doesn't have a saying attached to it, you know?
Exactly. Gotta have an oath. Gotta have an oath of some
Gotta
kind.
have some kind of oath.
Right? All right. So just for everyone's knowledge here, we are going to talk about spoilers. So if you have not watched episodes 1 and 2 of Lanterns on HBO Max, go watch it now and then come back and listen to this podcast episode. All right? There's your warning. All right. We put the spoiler warning out there. I have Carlos here. He's a big DC fanboy. This is the third DCU show, Carlos. What are you feeling about this show?
Oh man. Well, I've been very, very excited about this show. I've recently gotten more into Green Lantern than I had in the past. He wasn't my favorite growing up, but in like catching up and reading some Green Lantern stuff, he's grown into the whole Green Lantern Corps has become like one of my favorite things about the DC universe now.
Nice.
So I was excited for it when they announced it. Hearing the creative team, I like some of Tom King's work. I've only read a couple of his comics, but I was curious because he hasn't worked in television before.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, let's see what he can do. But the name that really attracted me was actually Damon Lindelof.
Okay.
Who's, kind of in my eyes has I don't want to say he's redeemed himself or whatever, but for a while he was seen as kind of like, oh, Lindelof's in this. That means that the ending is going to suck and it's it's going to be trash. Like a lot Lost, and I think what did he write?
You also
Prometheus.
Yeah, go ahead.
He wrote.
Yeah. Prometheus,
Sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah. Well, I think he redeemed himself with Watchmen. I think.
Me too. I haven't seen The Leftovers yet. I've heard nothing but good things about that show. People swear by it. I do need to watch it, but yeah, the Watchmen show for me was I didn't think it was going to be good at all. Because I love the comics, it's one of my favorite things ever. And seeing the show, the trailers, I was like, I don't know about this. This feels kind of weird. What are they going to possibly say? But it blew me away. Honestly, it was one of my favorite seasons of a comic book show I've ever seen. So
nice. Hearing
him doing it like a Lantern show, I'm like, all right, let's see what you got. Chris Mundy is the other showrunner. Him, I'm not super familiar with. I haven't seen Ozark.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, all right, well, it's a big. Let's wait and see for me. And now that it's out, I really like it so far. I don't love it quite yet.
Okay.
I think it could win me over. It could bring me to the love side. But as of right now, I really like it. And we'll get into some of my gripes. But now I want to hear what you think because I've been yapping a bit about Green Lantern now.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the IMDb logline, Lanterns follows new recruit John Stewart, played by Aaron Pierre, and Lantern legend Hal Jordan, played by Kyle Chandler, of course, Friday Night Lights, our coach for all time. Two intergalactic cops drawn into a dark Earth-based mystery as they investigate a murder in the American heartland. North Dakota. In the heartland, Stater Brothers. I'm sorry. When I hear the heartland, that's what I hear. And so... Nice. My thing is just off the rip, and I watched the episodes. I also watched the podcast episodes as well.
Yeah, I watched
Chris
one of them,
Mundy. Yeah, Chris Mundy, Tom King, Damon Lindelof as the creators of the show I don't know if I quite trust them. This is the first show of theirs I'm actually investing to watch. I watched a little bit of Lost, but this is the first full show that I'm watching of them. I have not yet read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is one of Tom King's more famous works, but obviously I've heard very good things about it. It would be interesting to get like, an honest interview with Tom King post the Supergirl movie. But anyways, for me personally, I don't know if I trust him, and the reason why is because the pilot episode, for me, like if I was to rate it, I may give it a 6 or a 7.
Me too, like a 7 for me.
Yeah, I like it enough to continue, but I'm not in love with it, and I'm actually surprised with the choice because in the podcast episodes, they keep going on about like how they have set this world. They've like really grounded this show, and it's gritty, and it's a crime drama of some kind. But I mean, to me, it just looks like a little bit better than a CW show, and it seems like they took a lot of the fantastical out of Green Lantern for the Lantern show. That's what it's coming off for me, and I want them to get more fantastical. Episode 2 was definitely,
we got a taste of it.
Yeah, it was a taste of what I would want to see more.
Me too.
And if I think back to Peacemaker season 1, that's more the style I was expecting.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, like I'm actually like pretty much, I'm kind of on the same page as you with the show. Like I think I like it a tiny bit more.
We're agreeing.
I know we're agreeing. We actually can agree. It's a weird choice to make it so grounded. I was all for it, just like to see something, something different, to see what it can be. My problem with it is, and I guess I should have seen it coming, because there's so much like lore for the Green Lanterns, like in general in the source material, and because this is a TV show that is like making that specific choice and making this tonal choice, you are stuck with a lot of exposition.
Yeah,
that it borders on like just, it's like too much at points. And in episode 2, I expected it to have less because in episode 1, most of like the first half of that episode felt like explaining Green Lantern lore, explaining like where Hal Jordan got the ring, explaining like where the power comes from. It was just so much explaining about like this whole world without showing anything. Just like
that's exactly what I was gonna say, is because I like the origins and lore of the Green Lantern, the Green Lanterns of Earth, but like I didn't get anything fantastical. There was no like origin story, no like Sinestro. We got Sinestro at the end of episode 2, obviously, but not Sinestro at his prime. We're supposed to just believe that Hal Jordan is this very powerful, I guess, god, because DC superheroes are supposed to feel like gods amongst men, and I don't get that.
Yeah, they haven't shown us why he's like we get a lot of his personality, which I like. I like how he's a little arrogant. I like how he's very like brash, and he seems very carefree in a way that seems almost close to like just careless.
Okay, but I want to push back on that because it seems like he might be a little too close to Guy Gardner as
sure,
as played by the actor
Nathan Fillion.
By Nathan Fillion, yeah. It seems kind of close to Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, in my opinion.
A little bit. For me, it's different enough, but I see what you mean, especially like the celebrity aspect of it, and the arrogance is there. They both have that. I think what they need to show more is that Hal can back it up better than Guy can. Guy's very arrogant, but like he's also like a hothead, and he'll just lash out, right? And he'll make mistakes. He'll be impulsive, and I think Hal should be like a lot more, careful. I guess like you should. Yeah, there is something to that you're saying.
Because based on episode 2, I at this point, episode 2, just at this point, if I'm just watching the last year's Superman, I watched this year's Supergirl, and I'm watching Lanterns. Guy Gardner looks like a better Green Lantern than Hal does at this point, right? Like Hal gets himself shot. He, he's barely he ran out of juice for his ring. I mean, at least Guy Gardner knows how to make constructs and how to take on armies in battle. Like he did at the end of Superman. So, yeah, at this point, like I would look at Guy Gardner as a more experienced Green Lantern at this point.
Well, yeah, because we haven't seen much of what Hal can do yet, and we're going to. We should anyway.
And then also, I would say that
at this point,
Nathan Fillion in the suit looks way better than Kyle Chandler does in his suit as well.
I don't agree with that personally, but that's just like that's just a personal taste thing. I really don't like the Guy Gardner costume in Superman. I think it's really ugly personally.
Yeah, but it does match the comics.
I mean, some of them, like, not really. It's a lot worse to me.
Like not the hair, but what I'm reading Green Lantern Corps, kind of like the pelvis kind of pants kind of look that they're doing is definitely right out of the Green Lantern Corps comic.
Maybe some versions. The one that I'm used to, it's like it looks more like a varsity jacket or something like that.
Okay.
Like and that to me is a more fun, interesting design. I just don't like the way it looks in the Superman movie. It's kind of lame to me.
Okay, for sure.
But
and then
the new one,
I'm also a little confused. Sorry, I'm just also a little confused about the timeline. Does this show happen like years before the Superman movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the main story we're following. So maybe you missed it, but it's okay. It's only flashed it like once in the first episode. Like the very beginning scene when it's Jon Stewart as a kid. That was in 1996, and the main story we're following is in 2016. It's like the main mystery where Jon Stewart's being trained. That's 2016, and then spoiler alert at the very end of the first episode when we see 2026. That's when Hal is presumed dead or whatever is going on in that scene. That's 2026. So it's like jumping through time. The main story we're focusing on, that would be like, almost a decade before Superman, right? So when Hal says, he's the only human to have used the Green Lantern ring, it's because Guy Gardner hasn't been, chosen yet.
Okay. So then this is way before the Superman story of that we got in the movie last year. Yeah. Okay. So as far as episode 1 is concerned, I kind of do want to just jump to that ending. Is so based on what you're telling me, I should take that ending very seriously. Like Hal does get shot in the head and murdered.
So I don't know. From what I heard about. From what I listen, so when you listen to the podcast, right? The DC Green Lantern podcast or Lanterns podcast, the first episode was when they had the showrunners on. The way Damon Lindelof was talking about it, because he's a big comic fan, like he knows comic books inside and out, and he seemed to imply that everything's not what it seems,
Okay,
like, that's kind of the feel I got from that interview. I don't remember exactly what he said, but that's kind of the impression I got. And the thing is with Hal Jordan, they could be going so many different directions because they obviously they're not following like a specific comic book storyline. This is like all new. I don't know how much you know about Hal Jordan, like his character journey, but it's a mess. It is like crazy.
I don't know much. I do remember the Blackest Day, I want to say, Blackest Night run. Yeah. I remember that run. I read like maybe the first issue of that back when it first released, but no, I don't know much about Hal.
Yeah, like I'm still learning as well. I'm making my way through the Jeff Johns Rebirth era. That run is like, I think a lot of people really look at it fondly because what happened was in the 90s, I think. Hal Jordan kind of went crazy, and he became a villain. So like, there's like this villain. I think it was Mongol and some other villain. They came by to Coast City, which is his hometown, and like just obliterated it, completely destroyed it. And Hal was just obviously completely distraught from that. He was like, "What? They destroyed my hometown." He like through his grieving, he recreates the town with his like ring. But it's not a real town, obviously. It's just him going through it. And in the Guardians of the Universe, or whatever they're called, the Guardians of Oa, they come by and they're like, Hal Jordan, you have abused your power as a Lantern, and now we are taking away the ring from you. But then, because he's like so emotionally, messed up, he completely snaps and kills the Guardians, kills like a bunch of like most of the Green Lanterns. He goes by the name Parallax. He decides to call himself Parallax for some reason, and becomes the big villain of the DC universe for a little bit until they end up having to kill him. I think Green Arrow shoots him with like one of his arrows, and that's how he dies. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So, and that's not even over. I don't want to get too into it, but like he ends up becoming the Spectre. Have you heard of that character from DC?
I have heard of the Spectre.
He's the spirit of vengeance, right? They go after certain people. So that becomes his role for a while again. So it's just like a huge mess of a character, and so they could just make him Parallax again. In the Jeff Johns run, they retconned it so that he didn't actually go crazy. He was possessed by the villain Parallax, that is like the embodiment of fear or whatever. It's so complicated. It's so complicated. And so if the show decides to adapt any of that, they could just end Hal and they could kill him. They could just have him die and that's it. They could have him die and become the Spectre. That's happened in the comics. Or they could have it be a fake out and he's still alive. Like it could be like many options.
No, that's true. They have plenty of options. Okay, interesting. As far as this take on how though you're fine with it.
Yeah, I think Kyle Chandler's like pretty great, honestly, in the role. He has like this this like swagger and charisma that I think is it works for Hal. I think you should have that.
No, for sure. He definitely does.
And this show feels like so far it's I don't know if it's embarrassed to be Green Lantern. I don't think it feels that like insincere, but I want them to embrace the Green Lantern stuff more as it goes along. Yeah.
Both these episodes have been directed by James Hawes, and listening to him in the second episode of the podcast, the official podcast of the show, he seems earnest. He seems to really know what he wants and what he's trying to do as a director.
Yeah.
For the show, and so I don't want to disparage the creative team, the people behind the camera at all. I think everyone in front of the camera is doing a great job at this point, honestly. The only character and actor that I am kind of wary on would be the character and actor Zoe, the wife that Jon Stewart has relations with in episode 1, which to me felt like just a very awkward scene that I think we talked about this like offline. I would talk about this. I'm reading Green Lantern Corps, and the way they're portraying Jon Stewart, which is a more veteran Jon Stewart, so I understand this is a younger Jon Stewart. But even just based on what we got in the beginning of the show of Lanterns, with his dad being a military dad, him being a military brat, him being a Marine, and I guess maybe because he's a Marine, maybe that's okay. But I just don't see him sleeping with a random woman that he met at a coffee shop. I don't see that happening. And the scene itself felt very awkward too. I don't know if they didn't have an intimacy coordinator on set. It just seemed like a very awkward scene. It didn't seem like anyone was enjoying the pleasure that it was supposed to. I don't know why they had to have that scene. That just, for me, it just seemed very awkward and off-putting. And then you find out that she's this guy's wife, and it's like, bro.
Well, that's what made it interesting to me. Sorry. Go.
Yeah, no, that's true. But then the conversation they have in the cafe, how's your white man, kind of conversation. And like, I get what they're doing, but it was just kind of like, what are we doing? Like, it felt so awkward. Like, and she didn't really clarify what Jon Stewart's questions were on the sense of like, is your marriage an open marriage? Is this what you're accustomed to do? Like, why would you sleep with me if you love your husband? Like, there seemed to be so vague, the answers. I was just like, why did that happen? Is that something you do? Should I go get myself tested for STDs? Because like, if you're willing to sleep with me, you don't even know me. Like, who else are you sleeping with in the town? Like, it just felt very awkward. And then, am I wrong? But are they putting down this theme where it's like Sheriff Carey and Hal Jordan might be a theme? I think
so.
they look cute together, but I'm very weirded out because it happened so quickly. Like, do they have history? I'm confused.
Yeah, I think they're definitely gonna like they're building that relationship up. They're gonna do like maybe hook up or something. I feel like that's that feels like the obvious direction that they might be going. It'd be crazy if they just killed her. Like that would be interesting. But I like her. I wouldn't necessarily want that because I think she's a pretty fun character
I like
so
her.
far.
But I actually like her husband. I think I'm not saying I like him as a like as a character.
I know
I
what you mean.
trust in that world, but I think he's interesting.
Yeah.
I think he's interesting, and so I feel kind of bad. Like this feels weird.
Yeah, he is interesting. Like I feel. Wait, sorry. You're talking about her husband or her father?
Yeah, Sheriff Carey's husband.
All right, her husband. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the father-in-law. He feels very generic to me. He feels very that show that everyone's watching. That's like ranchers, and it's like
Yellowstone. Or?
He feels like a character out of Yellowstone. It just
it
just feels kind of like weird. Like you don't seem like a DC NPC to me, but that's just me.
NPC. Yeah. Her husband is kind of interesting, but I think I feel like there's like something culty going on in that family. I don't know.
I think that's what they're leaning to, but it's not like they need to move forward faster with showing us the cultiness because all I'm getting is like, don't tread on me. That's that energy and like that's fine. Like that is American. Like I get that. Like it totally made sense why they shot him. Like I was like, dude, you threatened you had the ring and there's no power. Why are you like you think these people aren't going to shoot you? Like they're going to shoot you. Like that was dumb. But to me, it took away from the aura that you're supposed to have as a Justice League member. Like you're not supposed to be like taken out so easily. Like,
yeah, that's also why I'm like I have a hard time buying that Hal Jordan would get killed by just a gunshot to the head. Like, there's no way, right? Like, come on. the greatest Green Lantern ever gets shot by a gun and dies. Like, come on.
And that, to me, that's the difference between, DC superheroes versus Marvel superheroes, right? Like, Captain America famously got sniped at the end of Civil War, right? So,
and that's believable. You could buy that, right?
Because Marvel characters are supposed to be human. They're supposed to be human. But DC superheroes are supposed to be like, especially the A-tier list, and Green Lantern is an A-tier superhero in DC.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be gods amongst men. Like, you can't just take me out, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. That was just weird.
Yeah, like, when he encounters someone like Superman, he's like, oh wow, this is finally someone who's, like, way stronger than me. Like, that's a big deal, Yes. And this one, you have that one, you have the scene in the bar where Hal's playing the same song over and over again on the jukebox.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was a funny scene.
That was a funny scene, but I just kept like thinking, what is this doughy guy thinking, saying like, I'm gonna beat you up, Green Lantern. Obviously he does it, he lets him beat him up. But like,
they know who that is.
Yeah, they know who like what do you think you're gonna do? Like he's letting you do this.
Yeah, so I do like that scene, but now that we just talked about it, that was a scene where I was like, logically, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you could be upset with hey, Jordan, or Green Lantern, or whatever, stop playing the same song, which was a good song. You only played it 3 times in a row. Like, get over it. But, like, it just seemed like, yeah, I'm just going to, like, dunk on LeBron James, even though he's in the same bar as me. Like, that's what's going to happen right now because I don't like the song he's playing.
Like with no hesitation, being like, I'm gonna beat up the Green Lantern.
Yeah. So that's I do. Again, the creatives. I do think they're talented and they're worthy of the jobs that they have. I'm not saying I could have done any better. It's just it seems weird that they would start so grounded with these characters.
Yeah, it almost feels like a budgetary thing, even though it shouldn't be.
Yes.
It's DC Studios and HBO. Like they should.
It's Warner Brothers.
It's Warner Brothers, right? Like, it shouldn't be a cheap show. So that's why I'm like, even though for the first 2 episodes, I'd give them both like a 7 out of 10. I'm not expecting the whole show to be a 7 out of 10. Hopefully, it gets better, and I'm thinking it will. I'm thinking that they like, laid this foundation intentionally, where it's like, it could be also. how they manage the budget, right? Like certain episodes are probably going to be like a lot more fantastical than others. Like maybe
Yeah,
there's
as we
a
get
couple
later in the
episodes that,
season, we're gonna get more, or we're gonna get bigger scenes.
yeah, bigger scenes, more like special effects, like more action or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for that, as we're, just seeing what we've seen, it's good, I would say. Not great. Yes.
Yeah. And again, it's not saying the show is bad. Like it's a good show. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like I'm enjoying it. I like the acting. I think Aaron Pierre, I would have preferred someone of darker skin tone, but I like his gravitas. I like his presence. I like how huge he is. Like this is what I'm saying when I say for me, Chris Evans was not big enough for me to be Captain America. Like this is what I'm saying. Like when I look at someone like Aaron Pierre, like that is a big dude, the big chest, big arms. Like he looks like someone you have to, like he looked believable in that fight, even against aliens who are obviously like stronger.
Yeah.
He was able to like defend himself without the power of the ring. That was really awesome.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like you said, you believe it. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I'm sure that he has like a stunt double and all that, but
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing a lot of his stunts as well. At least some of the choreography.
Exactly. It's just I was hoping for more of like a Peacemaker season 1. I still need to finish season 2 of Peacemaker, but like season 1 of Peacemaker, I did like James Gunn's direction as far as how he established the fantasticalness of that world, and it was very fun while also having very good action. And so for me, if I could give any notes, it would be speed it up to get to that point, and don't be afraid, like you said, embrace the weirdness that is DC.
Yeah, and like normally I'm like, if it's a good drama, then I'm like, yeah, I'm fine with like if it's good writing, and I'm not. This is not bad writing by any means, but it's not really exceptional. Like I know it seems like a high bar, but I mean, it is HBO, right? Like they have they set the bar pretty high, and right now I don't know. I think about. Did you ever watch the Penguin show?
No, but you and others have told me how like exceptional it was.
It was like from the first episode, it hooks you like in the first scene, and I feel like this show, Lanterns, it still hasn't like hooked me in the way that I wanted it to. Like it has. Obviously the Hal Jordan death is like supposed to be the big hook, but I don't know. I don't.
That definitely did hook me though. I will say that did get me.
Like I was always gonna watch it, but it hasn't. I feel like I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but like the best shows, the first episode will just grab you, and like we'll just set up something that you need to find out, and I do feel a little bit of that. I do want to know what happens to Hal Jordan, obviously, but like there isn't a plot beat so far that's been like, that's got me excited,
Yeah, I am trying to. I mean, obviously for me, I always go back to something like Stranger Things. Like the first episode of Stranger Things definitely hooked me with the disappearance of Will. So I definitely agree. I do think there could be success for shows that have more of a slow burn to get to that point. So I think of shows like Succession had a slower burn in its first season, and then it got increasingly more dramatic and increasingly more eventful towards the end of the first season. And so, and I also, a superhero show that I actually liking this more too would be something like Loki. Even though I think the production quality was better on Loki season 1, the first 3 episodes of Loki were very slow, very boring for me personally. And it wasn't until after episode 3 that it started to pick up for me, and I was starting to enjoy it. So I do think once we get past, because episode 3 looks like it's going to be like more of a flashback episode, and then I think once we get past that, we've established all the backstory that we need. And we now have established that Sinestro is a part of this universe, and he's a part of the storyline. And he's going to start to put in this in the head of Hal Jordan, like that you need to be afraid of Jon Stewart for some reason. And we have established that there's a manhunter. Most likely, that's the benefactor behind this cult-like ranch family in Rushville, North Dakota. It seems like that's when things will start to pick up, because Nathan Fillion is supposed to be like in this show in season 1 for like 5-6 episodes. That's Guy Gardner, so I'm hoping that they don't nerf him. I'm hoping that, well, I guess they will nerf him because this is before, unless they're going into the future. But if this is happening in the 2016 timeline, then he is not a Green Lantern yet. So that will be interesting. I wonder how that's gonna clue in.
Yeah, me too, actually, because I'm trying to remember now. from the trailers, I don't remember if Guy Gardner interacts with Hal Jordan in the trailers. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah,
I think he does, and if he does, that would mean that they would probably, because Guy Gardner's not around in the 2016 era. He's not like Green Lantern yet.
no, but maybe he's just kind of like Jon Stewart. Maybe I don't know. He knows John somehow. Maybe
Yeah, maybe.
a friend of a friend.
We'll see. I have a feeling that he was just interacting with Jon Stewart, though. That would make more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The other thing too is, again, because I'm reading, again, I keep mentioning this, but everyone go check this out. Green Lantern Corps. Let's see here. Got our guy here, friend of the show, Morgan Hampton, friend of the show, who's writing it currently. He's currently writing. He's still writing it. He's been writing it for now over a year.
Nice.
They have, at the same time, they have Hal Jordan, and they also have Jon Stewart, and they also have Guy Gardner with their own unique separate rings. So, as far as Green Lantern Corps, it is kind of funny to me that John and Hal are sharing a ring when they both have had their own rings at different times. So I don't know how that's supposed to be explained, but it is interesting. It does add a good dynamic for people who don't know much about the lore, because you need to have the ring to have the power. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm curious about that because like when Jon Stewart was introduced, it was like what, the 70s. I think it was Danny O'Neill and Neil Adams. They introduced him in the I think it was it was the Green Lantern Green Arrow comic, Hard Traveling Heroes, I think, where they go on a road trip across America, and Green Arrow just kind of lectures Green Lantern the whole time about how he's not he's getting too far from Earth. He's always out in space, and he's losing touch with humanity.
Yeah.
And so at a certain point, they introduced Jon Stewart, who became the Earth's Green Lantern while Hal Jordan was off in space, somewhere else. And I think that's the one where Jon Stewart's first introduced. Okay. Interestingly enough, you mentioned you talked about the Aaron Pierre's skin tone. I remember that was a complaint I heard when he was cast, and I learned that when they first created Jon Stewart, it was a big deal to keep his skin tone that dark color they picked.
Exactly.
Because DC at the time was like, can you just make him a little bit lighter? And the artist and writer, they're like, nope, it's very important that we don't do that, because we want him to like sort of represent what like black people in America are going through at that time, which that's very important, a very important element that you think is superficial, but it's not at all.
Yeah, obviously colorism exists in every community. Nothing against Aaron Pierre. I think in the face, he gives me Jon Stewart in his mannerisms,
totally.
How he approaches a character. He definitely gives off Jon Stewart, like almost in a way where like sometimes Jon Stewart pisses me off the way he comes off.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart sometimes, don't get mad at me, y'all, but sometimes Jon Stewart, based on JLU, not Green Lantern Corps. Green Lantern Corps, Jon Stewart, but JLU, Green Lantern Corps, sometimes gives me pick yourself up from your bootstraps kind of vibes.
Yeah, when I would watch the Justice League animated show as a kid, Green Lantern was never my favorite. I liked him. I thought he was cool, but he was just always like a strong guy who was on a team with Superman, and Martian Manhunter, and these guys who had cooler, and not necessarily cooler abilities, but when you're writing a show like that, they kind of have to nerf Green Lantern usually and like make his constructs like kind of too weak.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
And so as a kid, I'm watching it being like, this guy is not as cool as Batman or Superman or whatever.
I did think Green Lantern was cooler than Batman, but
that's fair. Yeah, totally
because he actually had powers, whereas Batman is just like. But I'm not the biggest Batman supporter, so I'll leave that there. But continue what you're saying.
No, that was pretty much it. Just like that's how I felt about Green Lantern as a kid, and I haven't really read a lot of Jon Stewart comics. I really should though. If you have any recommendations, let me know.
Yeah, I'll keep saying it. Green Lantern Corps, man. I'm really enjoying him in this story. He's doing a lot of different things, and I will say this: they did take something from the comics. I don't want to spoil for the story of Green Lantern Corps, but what they did in episode 2 with his ability to keep living constructs alive, for pretty much for however he wants them to be alive for, and something that Hal Jordan was like kind of in a snarky way kind of demeaning his effort on, but then he found out later from the aliens that like that was very powerful. I thought that was cool because that is something that Jon Stewart has ability to, that he actually uses quite a lot in this series that I'm reading right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jon Stewart, again, from what I gathered in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, I didn't get that. But from the comics and from the show, Jon Stewart has this a little more unique ability to create living constructs and to keep them alive for however long they want to. Kind of like Elsa with... What's his name?
Is that from Frozen? The snowman guy?
Yeah. What's his name? Oh, Olaf. Kind of like Elsa with Olaf kind of thing. So with the bird, I thought that was really cute. I also loved, because it did feel like Jon Stewart, where like Hal's like pressing him, like, what's with the bird? And he's like, oh, it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to me. And he just kills the bird. Like, to me, that was a very, I will say that was a very black man thing to do, because it's like, no, I don't have vulnerabilities. I don't care about this thing. Yeah. I can kill it if I want to. Like that, to me, I felt seen. That felt like a black man moment. That felt like, okay, whatever, bro. I don't need this thing. I don't need it.
Yeah.
The only thing I would have wanted was like a moment where he just like, he secretly creates the bird and then hides it somewhere else out of Hal's view. But I love the bird. I thought the bird thing was beautiful. That was really, really, really sweet.
It was cool. I wasn't familiar with that. I didn't know that was something that Jon Stewart could like do in the comics as well. I thought that was something
again, I don't want to spoil anything, but like he has a couple of living constructs. He has some living constructs that like are doing things without, he doesn't even need to be around, right? And Hal gives that tip where it's like if you lose your concentration. But to me, based on he got knocked out multiple times during his fight with those aliens, and the birds still stay alive. It only died when he said, "No, your life is over." So Jon Stewart just has some kind of subconscious ability to keep them going for some reason. I don't know the full extent of it because I'm very new to this superhero, but yeah, it's definitely something from the comic books. So I thought that their inclusion of it, at least in episode 2, was really cool, and I hope we get to see more of it.
Yeah, I want to just see more constructs in general. Like, just use the ring more. Like, come on, guys.
Also, the other thing too, which again, maybe we just need to see more episodes. The last thing I'll say here. In the comic book I'm reading, in Green Lantern Corps, Jon Stewart's mother weighs heavily on his mind. And so I'm surprised that we saw so much of his father in the opening, but we haven't seen much of his mother. And so, again, from the little I know, Jon Stewart should, his relationship with his mother is a big deal. So I'm wondering, like, where is she at?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, again, not familiar. So that is curious. Maybe she just like. Do you think they would have just made her pass away? But you said she's important in the comics. Like she's a big part.
Yeah. When she passed away, it would have been a lot later. Okay,
I see. Yeah, I guess because that was another thing I was surprised by. Because I was surprised that his dad was still alive in like 2016. He calls him up because he called him.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay. I guess he still has a parent. Most of the time with these superheroes, their parents die.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start to wrap this up. So for me, my favorite character so far, John's Bird. Obviously, R.I.P. He's already dead. But I just really like that character, and I like what that character meant for John. Obviously, Jon Stewart and Sheriff Carey. Those are my 3 favorite characters so far in this show. What about you?
I mean, I really like Hal. I think the way they portray him is pretty great, in my opinion. I think he's fun. But yeah, like we said, I want to see more from him. I want to see like what he's more of what he's capable of. I do like that they're leaning into the detective aspects of being a Green Lantern. I think it's fun because I like that because I don't know. I hear space cops and I'm like, oh, cops, whatever. That's not cool. but for some reason, But for some reason, when they're like being detectives and actually showing that they're intelligent and deductive, like I think that stuff's fun. I think it's really, it makes them seem cool, like not just physically, but mentally as well. It's like some of my favorite stuff in the Batman movie, in the recent Batman, where he actually observes crime scenes and like solves like clues and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. My only pushback to that was like how Jordan's detective work was just him dragging a dead body through the metal detector, and then Sheriff Carey's like, yeah, I already know that, and he's like, oh, okay, and it's like, now we're caught up. So it's like, what was he trying to just prove to himself that they actually were aliens? Because I thought he was like, I blew up the one guy. The one guy already blew up, so I figured the rest of them are aliens. Was he just trying to prove to himself that? And we got to see the evidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. I think he needs more evidence, more proof of. Like,
yeah,
and also he also has been a big part of the second episode was that he kept asking Hal, "Why are you still here? I thought we already resolved this issue." But he kept, you know, he was there because he had a feeling, right? He had a hunch that there was something more going on in the town. So I guess maybe that's probably the main motivator. And now that we see that he was right, you know, that there is more going on.
You did get vindicated. That's true. Very cool. And then let's see here. Currently, the season is airing 8 episodes, but it has already been renewed for a second season, which is really, I'm actually really happy to hear that. So I'm glad for the show. But also, one of the main headlines that came out of at least episode 1 was Lanterns drew 9.3 million viewers in 3 days, beating the Penguin.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that headline? Since I know you're a big fan of the Penguin. Does it just show that the Penguin just sucks, you know, and the Matt Reeves Batman universe needs to go away completely and, you know, give room to James Gunn, whatever he has to do?
Yeah, I was pretty much seething when I saw that headline. I was like, no way you beat my Batman universe.
Penguin. The Penguin sucks. Boo, boo the Penguin.
No, no, but I was actually surprised. For some reason, I didn't think this show was going to hit that hard. I don't know why I thought that.
I didn't either, but I think it is the people. I think people, especially DC people, are starving for some good DC content.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's being weekly released, I think, is a really good idea too.
Definitely, it's HBO doesn't normally do the, you know, drop them all at once anyway, right? So
yeah,
it's good that they're, because a show like this, especially with how it starts, it's not like, I don't know, it's not like an amazing start. So I think that as it goes along, it'll get more people to be like, oh, are you watching the show? It's getting so good, and then more people will.
I hope so, man.
Will flock to it. Hopefully.
I do think HBO did a good job. Warner Bros. Did a good job where I think they're airing they aired the show, at least the first episode, after House of Dragon. So
that's smart. Yeah,
you're kind of getting people like House of Dragon, because House of Dragon is like huge, of course.
Yeah,
and I'm not watching it. I'm not watching Game of Thrones. Don't make me watch Game of Thrones, please.
Yeah, don't.
I beg of you.
Stay away from it.
Yeah, I'm good. No, poo away. No, it was. Anyways, no. But like right after House of Dragon is, or at least the first episode of Lanterns was debuted. So I think that is a great way to bring in an audience and to keep an audience. So I'm glad that at least it got that, because I do want to see. I want to see DC thrive. Honestly, I really do. I want to see Marvel thrive, and I want to see DC thrive. So no hate on DC. Let's see. Episode 1 on IMDb got a rating of 8.3, and episode 2 got a rating of 8.5. And I think we already kind of talked about this, but like, you know, our ratings. I'd say for episode 6, I'd give it a solid 7 because it had a lot to do as far as like
which episode?
I'd say episode 1, I'd give it a 7 because the pilot always has a lot of work to do, and I always give a lot of grace for that. Right? It was actually like the hook at the end was really cool. I think the hook at the end of episode 2 was cool. It to me just was not executed well. I did not like the suit on Hal Jordan. I did not like that station that he was at, the prison that looked really cheap. It all looked cheap to me. Sinestro, the cast for that looked not good to me. I was not a fan because again, I'm reading Sinestro in the comics, and he's still kind of youngish. Like he's not young, but he doesn't look old. And this guy, whoever they casted for Sinestro, looked old. Mm-hmm. And to me, Sinestro is still like a vibrant older man who could still whip you up if he had his powers. So I was not a big fan of that. And then the final line of that, you know, the Manhunter is the second most dangerous person, and I guess that's a sign that Sinestro believes Jon Stewart is the first most dangerous person that Hal Jordan should be wary of. Why do you think that is?
Because he's going to replace Hal Jordan.
Oh, okay.
That's how I took it.
Okay.
Because that's kind of what they've been building up, right? Like Hal Jordan's like, it's funny in the first episode he has that line where he's like, as long as this ring's on my finger, you know, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm not dying. I'm not planning on dying anytime soon. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, what would be your rating for episode 2?
I would also give it a 7. I liked both pretty much equally. I do think it is like building up more interest in me. See the story as where episode 2 ends. It's doing this thing that annoys me in TV where each episode feels more like it's building up to the next rather than telling like a really good, compelling story in the episode.
Yeah.
And that's the feeling I'm getting a little bit with Lanterns in the first 2 episodes.
That's fair. That's fair.
You
I
know?
mean, I will say that is typical serial shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually don't get series where each episode is its own complete story. I understand that you don't like that, but I will not follow the show for doing that because that is typical TV writing, in my opinion.
No, yeah, I agree. It's just I also feel like there's a balance you can meet, you know?
Yeah,
where it's like you're building story and you're also like each episode kind of, it doesn't have to be, and it's not like I think every show should be episodic. Like some shows benefit more from like a more fast-paced serialized narrative structure, and we'll see where they go with Lanterns, because it's not like fully, like I'm talking about. It does feel a little episodic, where the first 2 episodes are their own things. The first one, it's them going to the ranch for the first time. The second episode is the one where Hal, finds a bunch of dead bodies and John gets kidnapped by aliens. They're doing their own things for sure, but it just feels like a little too plot like heavy, and I want some more, I don't know, like less exposition and more just human moments, I guess. I don't know. But also I wanted some action too, make it a...
Yeah. And that's where I would say for my rating, I'm going to actually give episode 2 a 7 as well. I was thinking a 7.5 while you were talking, but because of the exposition scene with those aliens and Jon Stewart, even though like I appreciated the fact that they gave Jon Stewart, some time to just be, a hero because they thought he was also Green Lantern. I thought that exposition scene was just not well done, personally.
Yeah, I agree.
And then also, the thing where they shot him with whatever ray gun that was to give him the memories of their race being destroyed. I was hoping when he then talked to Hal Jordan that Jon Stewart would convey like, I saw things and I saw what this Manhunter did. How could you let him get away? To kind of create more of that tension where Jon Stewart doesn't trust Hal, and kind of him seeing that maybe he's being blinded or being manipulated by these aliens to think that Hal Jordan didn't take care of this Manhunter when he should have. I was hoping that would come back around, quicker, and it probably will, but it just seemed like it was almost a pointless thing to happen to him. That's just me.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's definitely going to come back. I mean, it has to. Like, we have to know more about what these what these guys are even about, what they're doing.
Right.
I get why you feel like that. It's like the show is just full of vague posters. Have you heard about that vague posting? Where like that? people will like tweet something out that's like extremely vague, like, oh, I can't believe we got a trailer, and they're not explaining what the trailer's for, or people posting about something in a vague way just to get like engagement and people to ask them what they're talking about. And that's what the show feels like. Everybody's doing that. Everyone's just like being as vague as possible, and it's kind of annoying.
Yes, exactly. So let's cut through the minutia and let's see more. But again, we are excited to keep talking about this. Carlos, are we committed to talk about this show for its whole season?
I'm down.
Yeah? All right.
Why not?
So we will be talking about this. We'll be recapping after episode 3, because I'm excited. I think episode 3 and 4 we're gonna finally pick up the pace, and so I want to keep talking about the show and keep getting into the Green Lantern Corps lore, or the Green Lantern lore, because so far, that we only got Superman, Supergirl, and Green Lantern in the DCU. So I'm gonna explore it and just check it out, because Matt Reeves is still messing around. I'm gonna get my shots of Matt Reeves whenever I can, man. Like, you heard that the second Batman movie is not coming out until 2028, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's the same, bro. Like, Matt Reeves, stop it, bro. Stop it. Like, just give it to James Gunn, bro. Stop messing around, bro. Supergirl wasn't the best, but at least we got the movie. All right,
man. I would rather have waited for another year if it meant Supergirl would have been good.
That's fair. Now at this point, I'm just rage baiting Carlos, but Like again,
Not taking it.
the Batman was amazing, Matt Reeves. But like, where's this movie?
Let's speed it up, man.
Where's this movie? Because by the time the second one comes out, like, what's his face is gonna be too old to be a young Batman anymore.
Yeah, right. He can't be year 2 Batman anymore if he's 40. Like
exactly. He's older than me, and I'm old. So you can't have a young Batman. If I can't be a young Green Lantern, you cannot be a young Batman. Young Batman.
I mean, hey, you can still be Green Lantern. They can make you Simon Baz. You know about him?
I do not know about Simon Baz.
He's cool. Look into him. He's got a gun. He's a Green Lantern with a gun.
That's the end of this episode. Thank you for listening. Thanks to our monthly supporters for helping us make this episode of the Musty Creative Podcast possible. If you would like to become a financial supporter of the show, visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/Musty Creative and help make this show even better. That's all we have time for. Remember to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at the Musty Creative, as well as our new bi-monthly newsletter at the link below. And now it's time to shower up.